Hey ladies and gents, welcome back to my channel Ladyfloflo. Today we are mixing things up. We are launching our very first YouTube podcast on Beginners Competitors Corner. In fact, the genesis of the channel started when I was contemplating doing my first bodybuilding competition. And I was searching for information and I couldn't find it. And I couldn't find mature ladies in her 30s, yes, and women had gone a transformation of their body, of their mind, and their soul, and now who were ready to compete. Whatever that transformation is, you're losing your 10 pounds, 50 pounds, no matter what, but you put some work. And I want to find women who inspired me as well. And today I'm very excited to bring to you one woman like this. Today, I'm presenting to you Luchida Michel. We are launching our first series of conversation for Beginners Competition Corner podcast on YouTube. Luchida Michel is a 36 years old woman from Montreal. She's a Caribbean descent and she's been in a relationship with her boyfriend for over 16 years. Before she competed, Luchida Michel lost over 100 pounds. I know how incredible that is. Just imagine the inner work she had to do. Yes, and Luchida Michel won over 14 titles as her bodybuilding competition in the figure division. She have won 6 overall figure titles and 8 first place in the figure. She's also top 15 for her last Toronto Pro Show in 2019. I'm so excited to bring you this conversation and share with you our insight, what we've talked about. You are going to be inspired by our story, and I'm telling you, you are going to find lots of key points that you can use for your own personal journey and your personal transformation. So this is part 1 of our conversation. So before we start this episode, why don't you do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. We appreciate you for coming back. Make sure that you hear the notification bell to all so you get alerted when the next episode is going to come up. All right, let's start right away. Welcome to the Ladyfloflo YouTube channel. You are our first guest.
I'm super happy. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and it's a great baptism.
Yes, and as I was saying to people that I want to bring more athletes, highlight more figure athletes specifically, and also in Canada. So talk to us where you are. Tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do in your normal life, your background, before we jump into your story, which is amazing, by the way.
Sure, of course. So first of all, I am 36 years old, turning 37 this year. I was born and raised in Canada. I am originally, my parents are from the West Indies, so I have Asian and Dominican background.
Nice.
I have absolutely no parents or people in my family practicing bodybuilding, by the way. But we are people in my family who are very active, who like to try stuff and travel. Right now, as we speak, as a professional, I work part-time in the for small businesses in Quebec.
Oh, okay.
Through financing, banking. And I also coach.
You're a coach?
Yes, I also coach clients online or one-on-one where there's no COVID situation, of course. So I do all sorts of coaching, weight loss, muscle gain weight, and specific training, either for cardiovascular training for clients, for example, who wants to train to get ready for a marathon or something. I help with supplementation and dieting. So I have good guidelines to help my clients really optimize their goals. And obviously, I do coaching on the mindset.
Oh, okay. That's something new. We didn't talk about that. Okay.
It's part of my, it's actually part of how I train my clients. I always slip in some mindset training because I've learned from my own experience, basically. So I like to share that with my clients automatically. And because it takes so much space, it has so much relevance in how you want to reach your goals. So that's why I make it like a no-brainer for me. It's part of any clients I train. They will tell you Luchi has a part where she forces us to train our mindset.
And if you may, if we could just pause and just go back about the mindset. And I know that you went through your own transformation journey. When we had a little initial conversation, you were telling me how you had some challenges with your weight growing up. And can you tell us a little bit more about that transformation and how that mindset helped you achieve your goal as being a figure pro that you are now?
Well, just like I said, I was never exposed to bodybuilding before. Mm-hmm. And I had, in my youngest years as a teenager, I had a really bad relationship with food. I was suffering of eating disorder, bulimia. So obviously, when you suffer disease like that, mindset is not already encrypted. Like it's not strong enough because I was able to be easily triggered by situations in my personal life that would impact my relationship with food in a negative way. So as I grew up and I got older, I had a lot of health issues despite not just eating disorder. I also suffer of anemia. They call it falciform anemia, or I don't know the name in English.
Tu peux le dire en français.
Anémie falciforme. Donc, it's a type of anemia that a lot of people of my kind suffer of due to either how we eat or what we have transmitted in our genetics. So to come back to whenever I was having a lot of health issues despite my bulimia, at some point I just had this wake up call where I had to tell myself enough is enough. I did try many times when I gained lots of weight. I think the maximum I've reached in my life as weight gain was 240 pounds.
240 pounds?
Yes. And just so you know, I'm 5'8". So
okay. Yeah, that makes a difference. Mm-hmm.
It makes a difference. But still, for my health and for my composition, I was too heavy. I was unhealthy. So I did try to lose the weight many times and I didn't succeed, either because I didn't feel myself motivated enough or the activity I was doing was not interesting me enough to keep it rolling. And obviously, I didn't manage to find a way to better my relationship with food. So I was still not eating properly. So when I had my wake up call moment, I did find ways to work on my mindset on my own. I never really had anybody guiding me or telling me how to do with my mindset. I really built it for myself because I realized that if I didn't do it on my own, nobody could do it for me. And it has to come from within. So this is the first step of realization I kind of encountered that actually put me on the road of trying to better and progress with a stronger mindset over the years.
Luchida, if I may ask, was there a particular book that you read, audio that you listened to that helped you?
To be honest, as much as I can recall, I read a lot. I'm a book rat, by the way. I do read a lot. I'm a very curious person of nature. I inform myself a lot on different subjects and matters. But for this particular experience of life, I've never really had anything back then that really triggered. It really came from me feeling that enough is enough. It came from me. It came from me seeing other things, other people being able to achieve things.
Observation.
Yes, exactly. I didn't have anything specific. It's just like a whole picture of why am I like this? And I want to change. That's the key word. It's when you say, I want to change. Now, what are you ready to do in order to achieve that change? So I had to know that, like I said, I tried many times and failed. I subscribed to gyms after 2 months dropped. I had Pilates classes for almost a year, didn't renew it, regained the weight after I lost a few pounds.
And I think that's normal, right? That's what normal people do. We've all lost weight, tried things, gained it back. But what was the difference that time?
The difference is that every time you try, you see it's possible, you see progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, something stopped that progress, stopped your work from continuing. So this is where you have to know or try to sit with yourself and question, why am I not capable of continuing? Because I did it for 2 months, or I did it for a few weeks. It was working. Like I was putting the work, but something just didn't do it for me to continue and have that motivation. So this is why I call the wake up call, because by regaining the weight again, it kind of saddens you because you're like, I lost weight, but now I regain more. That's not what
it's
I
so
was
frustrating. I know, like I was so frustrated gaining and losing the same 10 freaking pounds every 6 months. It's so frustrating.
So therefore, it was important for me to really sit down and think about a solution, because I'm like, I can't go on like this with what I call temporary solutions, with temporary results. I want long lasting results. So I need to find a way to get to these long lasting results, because this is what I want.
Right.
This is what I'm ready to do. I want to change. So one day, out of the blue, my boyfriend and I came across this activity called Pole Fitness.
Pole Fitness.
So that's where it all started. So remember I said earlier, I was trying to find something that motivates me. Back then, gym was not a motivation for me like it is today. And Pilates was fun, but I didn't stick to it. I needed something to stick to. So Pole Fitness, I'm a curious person, never heard of it. It's been fun, it's been challenging. Why not? So I registered to a trial class and I fell completely in love with the discipline. So I registered not long after that to my school, Studio 409, and I was taking many classes a week, but it was working more on my strength, my flexibility, my also on my, I would say, sassiness.
Well, you know what? Like, I think Pole Fitness builds confidence as well, right?
Yes, exactly. And this is why I was lacking a lot, right? So this is what kind of stick to me when I was reading the description of the class that was given by Valérie Blain. She was saying how much she wanted women, depending who you are, which shape, which size, doesn't matter, to feel confident about themselves and also challenge themselves physically. So I'm like, whoa, sounds like something I want to experiment. So when I fell in love with the discipline, obviously, Pole Fitness does not help you lose weight, because we all know the formula to lose weight. There's no other formula. You need to be in deficit. You have to do some cardiovascular activity in there, and mostly monitor your food. So Pole Fitness didn't have that in hand, but it did give me the motivation, the source of motivation to push myself, to get better physically, to get in better relationship with food too. So what happened is that as I was progressing in Pole Fitness and really feeling in love with the discipline, I realized that although I'm strong, I'm still too heavy. If I wanted to be able to perform certain figures on my pole, I would have to lose the weight somehow. Just doing the pole fitness class was not enough. So this is when I really started putting the effort on monitoring my food. So I started on my own. I didn't have any. I did my research. I understood the concept that I needed to be in deficit. So I'm like, okay, how can I do that? So I had to go through everything, my habits of eating, and start cutting stuff from my regular diet at the time. And also, I started walking more, walking distance either from work to home or home to work. I would also, I remember I subscribed to a really shitty gym. I will not name that gym, but it was super cheap. And I said to myself, it would give me the opportunity to just do the cardiovascular part in winter, for example, if I don't want to keep walking outside because it's colder, but to keep the process ongoing. And I'm telling you, Florence, that gym was so disgusting. Like, just being in the locker room, I would get goosebumps.
Wow.
But I did it anyways. And for me, there was only this goal in my head. So I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's part of the process.
You know what? I see already from your earlier days how you're building that mindset for a competitor of, you know, first of all, finding what you like, what you love in it, using that as a tool to motivate you, then doing some research, right? And also putting in the work and the no excuse mentality and sometimes I do that to myself. I'll walk, like today it's very cold, but I'll go walk outside so I don't get comfortable. So I see you were slowly building the mindset and your habit as a figure competitor, right?
Yes. And something happened. You remember I said it has to come within you when you really, truly want to change. It doesn't have to be someone or an external source. It has to be from you. So because
oh my gosh, from me, I so agree with you. Yes.
Because it came from me, I was lit by a fire inside me. It's hard to explain, but it's just like I was driven all along. So that's why that shitty gym part, when I think about it now, it's funny. But back then, I remember all the time I would go there, how weird I would feel, worried, and like people were weird there. The gym, the spot, things were dirty. Like, but I only got there for that specific cardio machine I was using, and that was it. And like I wouldn't even shower there. I would actually travel in the bus, metro, to go back home all sweaty. I didn't care, because I was like, I'm only going there for my cardio. I don't care about the rest. And it was so cheap. That's why I took it, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm only doing
you make
cardio.
It happen.
Why would I pay a super expensive membership if I'm only using the cardio machine? But that's, you know, I've learned over time that there would have been other solutions. But back then, this is how I reflected it.
But it's okay. And from that, you lost how much pounds? Like, that was huge.
Well, I kept doing pole fitness, monitoring my food on my own, by reducing my portion a lot, and try to be in deficit. From my referral was 2,000 kilocal a day.
Yes.
Because I knew that was not my basic metabolism intake, but I was using that digit as a reference back then. And also doing my cardio, going to that shitty gym. I did that for like a year and a half continuously. So I lost about 100 pounds.
100 pounds on your own?
Yes.
So you see, watchers, I thought my transformation was like amazing. It was like only like 50 pounds or whatnot. But 100 pounds, that's completely amazing. It means that you're pretty special to see that. And not only did you lose 100 pounds, and then you decide you want to level up. What was that change after? Okay, I lost 100 pounds. How did you transition? Because you said Nobody was a bodybuilder before in your family. You never saw that before. So how did that the seed entered your mind?
I hope you enjoyed this first episode with the conversation with Luchida Michel for Beginners Competitors Corner. Next week, make sure you tune in. We are going to find out how after losing her weight, she went on to do her first competition. You won't want to miss it, I promise you. Again, thank you for listening. And remember, give us a like and subscribe to this channel, okay? And leave us in the comment section some comment. Let us know. How did you find this story? Do you like this idea? Let me know. Looking forward to see you again. Thank you, and I appreciate you. Learn to know yourself.